Today's the day that I quit punk rock, 'cause now in society it became normalcy to not care. Oh, I think they're unaware, 'cause even the punks knew that the tattoos shielded their sensitivity, yeah. But nowadays it is commonplace to portray a monster unironically, yeah. But the meaning gets weird when everyone's queer. I hate you, BK, the new pop anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, you made it, I made it, we made it to another episode, to another enthralling and amazing episode of the Anti-George Carlin George Carlin podcast. I'm your insanely and ridiculously handsome podcast host, Ross of Nazareth, one of the most handsome up-and-coming stand-up comedians on the planet, dude. No way. Yes way. Today's a great episode. There's a lot to talk about. Hilarious. It's a hilarious time period that we're going through as a country. And today's date is June 9th, 2025. If you are receiving this enthralling and amazing Anti-George Carlin podcast transmission, this broadcast being transmitted to you through satellite towers that are going up the satellites, being shot down via photons and energetic vibrational wavelengths, being shot to your screen in real time, folks. You are the comedic resistance. There are black helicopters outside my house right now. What is your choice to be? Ladies and gentlemen, they want you to be cowards. They don't want you living your life with freedom. What is your choice to be? I choose freedom. I choose the comedic resistance. And that's what you're going to get on the Anti-George Carlin podcast. Woo! There's so much energy expenditure in doing my Alex Jones bit. I think I might be sweating, folks. No big deal. I put it all on the field, dude. That's what I do. I love his passion. Whether you think he's crazy or not, I love his passion. Okay? We're going to be talking about resentment today because I'm going to bring a little spirituality back to these podcasts because I haven't been doing that as much. I'm focusing a lot on stand-up, right? And I was just at the Mohegan Sun Wisecrackers last night. Great show. A lot of talent. There's so many talented comedians coming out now and a lot you don't know about, which is kind of cool. And the next show, I'm going to do a live stream. I have a show on Friday at Bethlehem Brew Works, and I'll be live streaming that. It's going to be an epic show. Some of the funniest comics you will see in the Lehigh Valley on that. So tune into that this Friday, 9 p.m. And it's going to be, you can see it whenever, dude. It's a live stream, dude. It's going to be on this YouTube page, The Ross of Nazareth, the most insanely attractive and handsome podcast host on the planet, dude. No big deal. So check in on Friday for that amazing show at the Bethlehem Brew Works. Come and check us out if you're in the area. It's going to be great. So yeah, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. We have the president and Elon Musk. I mean, everyone has heard about this. It's on every news channel. It's every social media post that you see, which I'm stepping on the brakes a little bit on social media. I want to unlearn, right? I think it fuels resent. I think it's like, it just stokes the fire for people to live life with resentment. And I think that any life with resentment is futile. It's a futile existence. You're not going to be happy. And resentment is such a cunning enemy because it does this, where we think we're important. And I was just in a meeting today, and I love this person I'm going to be talking about. But anyways, we're in a meeting, right? And there's like 4 or 5 of us, and this dude, he has his laptop going, his cell phone going, no one else. Everyone's present. And if you ask this question in a meeting, I guarantee it will help bring everyone to a present state of mind, because that's what you really want. You want people to be present and then to be able to communicate and contribute to the meeting, right? There's power in teams. And next time I will say something like, dude, like, why do you feel it's cool to be using your laptop and your phone. Do you see anyone else doing this? Why do you feel as if you're so important that you can do that? And by the way, we know you're not paying attention. It's like kind of insulting to the rest of us, right? But I don't know if you, like, to be honest, in 2025, this is a good topic to bring up, and it's relatable to what I'm talking about. But in 2025, there are children, 12 to 17. Children, this is a real phenomenon occurring in our society that no one's talking about. Children in the United States are going to rehab, like a drug and alcohol rehabilitation program for gaming, for video games and cell phone addiction and screen time. This is a real phenomenon that's occurring. So I don't know if the guy is addicted to cell phones and screens. He'd even look at me when I'm like, bye. So I don't know if he thinks he's that important, which I really don't. I like this dude. I think he may have, he also can check out too, right? Sometimes you don't have to be this awesome dude every day, but during a meeting, you kind of owe it to other people around you to at least be present. Right? All right. Speaking of, if that's going on in our very local, like that's very local for me. That's real. That's in my community. That's something I can actually change, folks. And kids listening, you really can't change stuff that's going on with the president. Elon Musk, talk about emo. He's the most emo dude you can. That was like me going through a breakup when I was 17. And I will get the tweets out because Elon Musk states, the really big bomb is that the reason why Trump wasn't releasing the Epstein files is because he is in it. Have a great day, DJ Donald Trump. Have a great day. So adding that is so emo. It's like Elon Musk is just in so much despair, and he's so uncomfortable. There's so much pain and anguish and misery in my life. I have to, therefore, make someone else, the president of the United States, feel as bad and painful and miserable as I feel. So that's what he did. He tried hurting someone to make them feel the same way he felt on the inside, which was yucky, folks. That's what's going on the psychological level with those tweets and the intention behind the tweets. That's called resentment. What's wrong with resentment, Ross and Nazareth? Here's where the spirituality piece of this podcast comes in, and you guys can utilize this in your own life to rid yourself of resentment. Because like I said, resentment yields a life that's futile. And you're not going to foster relationships. Your story, right? And people love stories. They love good stories. Your story is not going to be all that it could be if you're constantly resentful. And look, that's why the left really lost the election in this previous election in 2024, was because this resentment-filled ideology, victim status, right? For the past 10 years now, no one's buying it. And by the way, if you elect one of these ideologically possessed individuals that claim they're a victim and there's oppressors and all this, it's all power dynamic going on. And those left-leaning Marxists, when they get into office, it's not like that resentment's going to disappear. They're going to continue living life with resentment. And it's not like they often blame someone. So I'll use the example that I was just talking about. Elon Musk is blaming Trump for XYZ. But it's not Trump. Trump just came into that dude's life. So what Trump is essentially is we're getting a quick highlight of how Elon Musk actually communicates and operates with people that he works with. Truly. So we got to see the ugliest side of Elon Musk in real time. And I might add, I think the president, that was like the most presidential I've seen Donald Trump. He didn't respond and he didn't do the tactics he previously did. Maybe that's getting old. He is old. But he responded in a very eloquent and presidential way. So kudos to President Trump. I will give him that. He's the president of the United States. Elon Musk set out to make him appear weak, fragile, as if he has character defects that are so insanely atrocious, like pedophilia, Possibly. I'm not sure the intention behind that claim with Epstein's files. How does he know, too? I think it's really he just wanted Trump to feel as bad as he felt on the inside. But talk about emo, dude. How emo is that? I went through breakups when I was like 17, 18, trying to hurt the other woman. And that's a bad look for guys. Girls, they can kind of talk about, they can pull a Taylor Swift, after a breakup. Can you believe that he's got a small penis and, he's really a bad person. He did this and this. All he cares about is sex. F him. Guys can't pull the Taylor Swift. Case in point, Elon Musk. After their friendship went south, he pulled a Taylor Swift move, dude. You can't do that. That's guy code 101. I can't talk about a breakup. I can't be eating ice cream after a breakup. A gallon of ice cream. Oh, I'm so sad. Can you believe her? I'm never going to find someone again. You can't do that as a guy. You go to the gym. That's how you handle it. You go lift something heavy. You go to work. That's how you handle a breakup. You can't Taylor Swift it as a dude. You can't. That's a solid point. You can't Taylor Swift it as a dude in any kind of breakup. Whether it's a business relationship, you don't want to hurt them further, because that's how people get motivated a lot of times, is through resentment. And what resentment does is takes us out of the present moment. So in that meeting today, if I go, hey, is everyone here? Not like attendance wise, but is everyone here? As in, we're not somewhere else in our minds. I think that brings people back to the present moment. You're like, oh yeah, my mind does wander because I'm a human being, and that's what our minds do. And thank you for reminding me to be present and to cast away these silly resentments I have. With Elon Musk, it's probably a fear response. Like he was hurt, obviously, financially. So he has some financial insecurities with Tesla, and people are spray painting it and blah, blah, blah. And then you get this, he thought he was going to be allocated funds from the US government for the electric cars, which he didn't get, blah, blah, blah. So he has financial insecurities, which leads to sexual, well, he has like 9 kids, but he has a partner. So he may be viewed by his partner in a lesser way. Ooh, my ego is now affected. In personal relationships, pride, vanity. The guy is running around with a flamethrower on ketamine, right? Your pride and vanity gets affected, especially when you're spotlighted and globally, right? He always was in the limelight, but now, especially, and he has a black eye and he shows up to, the whole thing's insane, dude. And you have to stop and laugh, or you'll go mad. Truly, and you will have the Trump derangement syndrome that Elon Musk had. But here's my point about it all. And follow me on this thought experiment. Your resentment that you have in your life right now, and it could be valid. I don't know. Could be 100% valid. I had one the other day that my friend was agreeing with me, and I go, but you can't live like that. You can't live with that bitterness. You just can't. Like I said, it's going to lead to a life of futile, miserable, agonizing defeat if you follow resentment to wherever it leads you. Because most people feel good. I'm up here now, remember? And that person's down here. And I have resentment. I'm going to tweet against the president of the United States. That's insanity, folks. So the idea with resentment is to recognize, number one, whatever you're mad at the other person, have you ever done something like that in the past? You spot it, you got it. That's a classic psychological, I was going to say motif, but it's a classic psychological line that is so true. You spot it, you got it. Whatever you're really mad at someone else for, well, have you been dishonest? Have you lied? Have you hurt someone in a breakup? Have you, I don't know, what is he accusing Donald Trump of? Pedophilia, possibly? Have you done weird sexual stuff, Mr. Billionaire Elon Musk? Are you compensating for something? I don't know, right? But oftentimes people do get very angry at things that they themselves do. It's almost they're holding a mirror up to other people and they're seeing themselves and they go, oh, I hate myself, so I'm going to take this out on you. That's really what's going on sometimes. It's psychological projection on steroids. That's essentially what's going on. So anyways, the cure to this all, and we'll end on a very positive note. Pray When I say the word pray, they get all weird. When I say pray, just positive thinking. Maybe try and empathize with this other person, right? I think empathy is the first weak spot in resentment. As soon as you can be like, oh, okay, this is another human being. You know, he used to be a baby, he grew up. As soon as you have some sort of empathy, then there's room to get past the resentment. And you can go, well, okay, I would still want the best for him. And, you know, I really don't think it's about this person. Maybe it's like my own insecurities. Maybe it's the fact that I'm selfish sometimes. Maybe it's the fact that, you know, I have pride and vanity issues. Maybe it's the fact that this is affecting my personal relationship and my ability to make money. And that really gets me going. You're going to mess with my pocketbook. And I need the money worse than USAID, folks. I think that's very on brand for the Trump and Elon references. But I think they're hurting for trillions with a T of dollars. And I need the money worse than that, folks. Can you believe this stuff? So what do? Do I go and blame the government? No! I already said I can't Taylor Swift it as a guy, right? It could be 99% the government's fault. I have to take the 1% that is my fault. And you always have a role, you always have a part to play in any resentment. My resentment with being, I'm so economically insecure. Oh, I have this major fear now. It's going to work out because I have a little bit of faith. And I had faith in previous circumstances. When I was 21, I was like, if I could just afford it, if I could just buy my own car, dude. And it worked out. And then the next thing, blah, blah, blah. But, and you always have a part or a role to play. And someone will go, well, I was raped as a child. Again, the victim nonsense. I was raped as a child. I was molested. Did I have a part to play in that, Ross Nazareth? What happened to you as a child? You were completely innocent. I will give you that. However, if you are a 30-year-old male that's still holding on to this self-pity and depression, and you're not able to foster new relationships because of this incident, yes, that is 100% your fault and not the perpetrator. What happened to you as a child, of course, that's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. And a lot of that shame and guilt that people feel after being molested or violated as a child is not their shame to begin with. It's the perpetrators, but they put it on the child. See how that works? And then likely that's how it repeats in a very sick way. However, yeah, you didn't do anything wrong as a child, but if you're hanging on to that currently and it's 20 years later, yeah, that's your responsibility. That's your part that you're not taking responsibility for. And the economic insecurity, 99% the government's fault. If that's true. Who knows, folks? It's like, look, I looked at it like this. If my mortgage, if my furnace went out and my car engine went out that same week, how am I going to pay the mortgage? And if I can't pay my mortgage, who owns my house now? Oh, it's the bank? Oh, dude, the bank's going to own my house now? Come on, dude. Or, if I can't pay my taxes, right? And my local tax, my state tax, my federal, it's being skyrocketed. It's exponentially and substantially increasing every year. What if I can't pay my taxes? Oh no, who owns my house now? Oh, it's the government, dude? So the bank or the government is going to end up owning my house. I'm selling them a rent, dude. And I'd rather be poor chasing the dream, dude, of being the greatest and most handsome. Maybe I can't get the second one, but maybe the ETs will think differently. Hopefully. But look, maybe I can't get that second one of being the most handsome. I guess Matt Rife has us all beat, folks. But I would rather be poor searching for this dream than be imprisoned by a futile life of resentment and doing something I don't want to live. Right? That's called freedom, baby. What is your choice to be? Freedom or slavery, folks? That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So it may be a real... How strict truth is stranger than fiction. It may be a real life version of Happy Gilmore that we're all living in right now. It's the strange. Grandma's house may actually be taken away by the government or by the bank. And now I'm going to have to start golfing, folks. Now I'm a golfer. What's going on? I'm not doing that. I sold my house. I had this joke. I had this joke on stage where I'm like, I had to start doing Elvis impersonations. That's how I have to make the money on the side, guys. So, subscribe on my YouTube, whatever. Go on Spotify, download, add my songs to your playlist. That's how I make money. Look, keep listening to these podcasts, spread it out. Because I was doing Elvis impersonations, and then I would go into this song, hilarious song, the Tony Hinchcliffe theme song. But as I'm going through, I go, hound dog. Elvis is coming out of me. I see it. Like if I was a full-time stand-up comedian, these Elvis impersonations wouldn't be bleeding into my act. This podcast, right? Hound dog. Ain't nothing but a hound dog. And I started doing the lip thing. All right. That's why I retired. That's about, if you didn't laugh, that's what should have happened there. You shouldn't have laughed. And that's why I retired the bit. It's not funny. I got away with it, but it wasn't, great. As a reaction there, it probably wasn't that good. So, and this is probably exacerbated by the fact that it's on a transmission. Shat. I just said shat. Shot to satellites, right? And the satellites are sending back the vibrational wavelengths and photons to satellite towers, which are being reconfigured for your viewer entertainment in 4K HD, no big deal, on your screen. And the magic gets lost somewhere in that process. That's why live shows are never going away. So when people go, is AI going to take away from comedy? No, dude. AI can't do a live show. How is that going to work? Robots coming out? What is the deal with airplanes? What is a robot going to do on stage? Like the sex robots, they may take out society. You could just bomb China with 30 different 30 different varieties of sex. You got black, white, doesn't matter. You can just bomb China, right? With all these sex robots, the men get taken out by super attractive sex robots. Imagine if war starts getting resorted to sex robots. And in some fashion, the CIA did study, look up Midnight Climax, where they would edge businessmen. They would have these secret, Midnight Climax is strange. Essentially, they use sexual tactics to get secrets, to extract secrets. And I gotta say, for these people I was talking about, that resentment fills their life and it's all about doing this. Like, I'm up here and they're down here. Can you believe this? I am so important. That's the cunning, baffling part about resentment. It makes people feel important. It's very strange. We're all children of God. We're all special. No one's extra special. But these businessmen, right, that were involved with Midnight Climax, it could be that business personality type is extremely susceptible to someone like extracting secrets through sex. Maybe that's just their makeup, their psychological makeup, because they probably want the woman, they want to earn the woman's respect, or they want to be viewed in the way that they're up on a pedestal. So I can see how that actually worked. I can see how the CIA actually worked that out in real time. It's a very strange organization. And like I said in the past, I love the United States. It is a strange organization. The CIA in a as a whole is weird. It's like stuff babies, like when you're like 4 or 5, let's play spy. That's literally what they did as adults. You're spying on another human being. It's like voyeurism. It's very strange. The NSA was spying on everybody. People were looking up their ex-girlfriends at the NSA, or there's some story on that, where this dude was looking up ex-girlfriends and looking up chicks. Like, what's their information? Trying to find like secret information about chicks they wanted to date. Super scary, super weird. No one should be allowed to spy. And the scariest part is in like 1984, the surveillance cameras were, the Big Brother put them in your house. Now we walk around with our surveillance mechanisms. It's our phones. And trust me, the data mining that's occurring in 2025 is preposterous. They know everything about you. And if I'm correct with my theory on, AI and these supercomputers, and we're basically these individualistic focal points or nodes on a giant complex AI systematic algorithm, all of our personality traits and everything we are as human beings gets transmitted to a central locale, and you have every human consciousness tethered together. That's insane. Who gets to control that power? They have all your psychological preferences. What is going on with that? They can predict the future. They can literally predict the future. If you release, they could release a statement. The government could release something, and then stocks could be influenced. They could manipulate the media that way. It's crazy that this is being allowed to occur. And I think that's part of this is the weirdest thing. The big, brilliant bill, whatever Donald Trump is talking about. And I do have Donald Trump's back in the Elon Musk view. I really do. Me personally, I thought he handled it so much. Well, he handled it in the presidential way, and that's why he's the president and Elon Musk is not. But anyways, I think that bill has some nefarious AI language in it that I have to read that. Because when's the last time you read a bill? Does anyone do that? I think I might start doing that. Just to understand it. I'm fascinated by this is their job to create. And the only thing I know about bills is from that I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. That's the only thing I know about bills. That shows how ignorant I am. I just want to openly put that out there. I am a scientist, however, I know nothing about anything in the political landscape. It's such a strange job to be a politician. I do think this is my personal opinion, that normal people don't go into politics. Why? So I think that a normal person doesn't want people to put them on blast. Who would want having a tweet battle with Elon Musk? If Elon Musk is coming at you, the most powerful billionaire in the world, and then you have Donald Trump, another powerful billionaire, it's very sketch, to say the least. Your family's in jeopardy. No one wants to go into politics that's relatively sane and normal, because why would you want to expose yourself to that? And not only yourself, your family and your reputation. And people are going to destroy you in an open format. And you're going to be publicly humiliated on the reg. A normal person goes, no, dude, I want to live with my wife and kids and have a few dogs, maybe on a farm or in the woods somewhere. I don't even want to be around people, dude. Let alone be in that kind of limelight. Oh, dude, send me to Mars, dude. I want to terraform Mars at that point. But here's the deal. The type of people that go into politics are those people. If you notice, Donald Trump is very good at attacking other people and destroying other people's reputations. All the AOC, that's what they do. Isn't that weird? You spot it, you got it. That's why they want to go into these positions, because they're actually narcissistic and malevolent and sadistic in some strange ways. And I think that's why governments rot from the inside. Every time, there's never been one government that succeeded in world history. Maybe that's the reason. How do we bring the power back to the people? Well, the Constitution was a good start. The United States. And it's not just because I grew up in the United States and I'm biased. Objectively speaking, it's hard to say that because I didn't grow up in another country. It's the best example that I am aware of. We'll leave it at that. What a cool podcast. You got to stop sometimes and just smell the roses and go, this is ridiculous. This is all ridiculous. What do I have control over? Oh, I have control over the local scene. That's about it. And you want to make that as cool as you possibly can. And I'm so fortunate that I have friends like Matt Mulchaney who are actually implementing really cool things in our community. Like at the public library, he has now a free recording studio for all walks of life. Every economic walk of life can now go to the public library in Bethlehem and record a podcast and record music in a professional format, because the mayor loved that idea, that the library loved the idea. There's many moving parts to it, but the mayor digged it so much that he ended up donating money to it. And then lo and behold, people in the community started donating equipment. And now we have this kick-ass studio right here at the public library, which is free. And it's booked up a lot. However, how cool is that? My friend Matt really wanted to challenge the conventional idea of what a resource is. I think if that spreads, more people challenging the conventional idea of what a resource is and how we can utilize and efficiently use our community's resource to improve everyone's life. And I think, believe it or not, I do think the arts will save us. And they have already. I think comedy is a huge part of why our trajectory in 2025 is starting to get back on track. Because we were allowed to talk now. We're allowed to be, do you want to laugh? It goes back to this bit in the beginning. What is your choice to be? I choose freedom.
And when the norms get punk rock resentment, feeling like cement, when they pass out at night to hide their worthlessness, they must confess. That's why they would rather pick a fight. So he treats her like shit, but you must admit that it's punk rock, it's alright. But no one thinks it's benign when he's 55, taking Xanax and drinking this thing alive.